Chapter 14. We were chosen. Dahlia was shocked. She couldn't believe his words. The general manager wasn't talking about her place on the candidate list, but was referring to their appointment as the Harmon family's partner. They'd even skipped the final assessment. What was happening? Did you mean what you said? Dahlia questioned tentatively. Of course. If you don't believe it, you may come to our office tomorrow to sign the contract. I have other things to attend to, so I'll hang up now. After saying a few words, the general manager ended the call. Dahlia on the other end was feeling both astonished and delighted. Never had she expected things to go so smoothly. A few moments ago, the Jackson group was just about to get removed from the candidate list, but in the blink of an eye, they had become the Harmon family's partner. Everything was happening too abruptly. Of course, it must have been due to Rhys' help that she was able to make it this far. The Nolan family's influence was surprisingly impactful. Only a phone call was needed to change the Harmon family's mind. Ms. Nicholson, what happened? Did the Harmon family change their mind? Lyra asked. Yes. Dahlia nodded and flashed a rare smile. The general manager of Harmon Group called me just now and said I'm chosen to become their partner. Lyra cheered. Oh my God. I knew you could do it. It's all thanks to Mr. Nolan. This wouldn't have happened without his help, Dahlia said gratefully. That's right. Mr. Nolan is indeed the greatest. He solved our problem with just a few words. Praised Lyra. You're exaggerating. It was my father who did the favor, Rhys replied with a smile. Although his words sounded humble, the smugness on his face was unconcealable. In fact, he was also somewhat surprised by the news. Since when did his father work so efficiently? Dustin, did you see that? This is the difference between you and Mr. Nolan. Lyra turned to look at Dustin and remarked mockingly. Mr. Nolan can easily secure us the position as the Harmon family's partner with a word. What can you do? Don't say that. At least, he's good at sucking up to people, Rhys added with a chuckle. HMPH, what else can he do? He's an absolute good for nothing. When Dustin didn't retort, Lyra's arrogance was boosted and she continued, it's a pity that the bitch isn't here to see how useless the man she chose is. Are you done talking? Move out of the way if you are, don't block my view, Dustin uttered indifferently. Why? You can't stand it when we said only a few words. If you have half of Mr. Nolan's capabilities, would you be afraid of others calling you out? You're hopeless. Lyra sneered. Oh. Then, tell me, what is Rhys capable of? Dustin's expression became solemn. He might prefer to be Loki, but he wouldn't tolerate anyone who insulted him. He wasn't a saint, after all. Mr. Nolan made us the partner of the Harmon family through a simple phone call. If this isn't capability, I don't know what is, Lyra answered while staring down at Dustin condescendingly. How are you so sure that it was him? What proof do you have? Dustin countered. Who else if not Mr. Nolan? It's definitely not you. I mean, look at your terrible attitude. Lyra snorted coldly. Hey, Rhys, what makes you think that the Harmon family would suddenly change their mind if it wasn't because of me? Rhys asked haughtily. That's right. The truth is right in front of you. Why can't you just admit it? Lyra echoed. Don't get too conceited. If I were you, I would go and confirm the truth myself before thanking the wrong person, Dustin said, expressionless. From what I see, you're just jealous of others because of your incompetence, scolded Lyra. Whatever floats your boat. Dustin shrugged it off. Rhys, you wanted proof, right? Fine, I'll give it to you. Rhys sneered as he pulled out his phone to call David again. Hey, Dad. What is it this time? David sounded annoyed over the phone. Nothing. I just wanted to know how did your talk with old Mr. Harmon go? What talk? I'm still in the middle of a meeting. I don't have the time to help you with your nonsense. Don't ever bother me over stuff like this again. What? Chris was caught off guard when his father hung up the phone angrily. The smile on his face had stiffened. Instantly, his intention to boast about his capability was shattered. If his father didn't help him, then who did? Could it be a coincidence? Mr. Nolan, what did your father say? Let's hear it, Dustin said with a fake smile. As he was seated right behind Chris, his keen ears could pick up everything David had said on the phone. He didn't even need to listen to their conversation to know what was going on. Chris' stupefied expression was self-explanatory. Mr. Nolan, don't hesitate to tell us. We should let this bastard understand that he could never compete with you. Lyra prompted. Meanwhile, Chris' eye twitched. He pretended to be calm and replied with a dismissive smile, "What's there to tell you about? My father has confirmed that he made a request to the Harmon family and helped us big time. Otherwise, Dahlia wouldn't have qualified to be their partner." Hearing this, Dustin frowned deeply as he didn't expect Chris to be so stubborn. How could he lie in front of everyone? Did you hear that, Dustin? I told you so, but you didn't believe it. What do you have to say now? Lyra barked proudly. Would you believe me if I told you that Chris is lying? Dustin questioned back. Dustin, that's enough. At this moment, Dahlia couldn't stand it anymore. Can you drop with your act for once? I know that you're jealous of Chris, but you can't just slander him. Is it so difficult to admit he's good? Dahlia stood up and yelled, a hateful look on her face. Initially, she didn't wish to argue with Dustin. However, seeing how obstinate he was behaving, she really couldn't bear to watch any further. Jealous. Slander. Dustin paused, feeling slightly taken aback. So, that's the kind of person I am in your eyes. Look at yourself. Am I wrong? Dahlia retorted. Her question rendered Dustin speechless.